Hi, sixth grade families. Thank you for taking the time to check out this video. This is attached to an email, which I know was very lengthy, but I wanted to get a lot of information out to you guys as we are all navigating this new idea of hybrid learning, whether we stay in hybrid learning or go back to in-person learning. No matter what model we're in this year, I think there's going to be a lot of room for communication between myself and you and your student. And I just wanted to have some helpful tips that I think will be really great as we move forward through the year. So a lot of this is somewhat duplicate of what was in the email, but I'm showing you a lot of the actual stuff. I'm actually going into Schoology. I'm showing you some of the things that your student is going to hopefully bring home and utilize. So I think that if you're a visual person, this is better. Also, just kind of be able to walk you through exactly what I'm talking about in the email sometimes is clearer. So learning from home days is kind of what I'm focusing on during the first part of this email or first part of this video, but also just kind of some ideas of how to help your student be successful throughout middle school. Some of these ideas really do transfer no matter what model we're in, and probably through 7th and 8th grade when we are hopefully no longer being restricted with the COVID-19 restrictions. So again, it's a new experience for everyone. I feel for these 11 and 12-year-olds trying to navigate this. I feel for families trying to navigate this. I have children in the district myself, and we're trying to figure things out. And I feel for my coworkers who are trying to figure this out too. So I think the more we can communicate together and the more I can help you, since I know how Schoology works and I know what I'm expecting of students, I think the better it will be for everyone. So there's going to be some helpful tips for students to be successful. And the first thing I want to do or to share with you is a to-do list that I've created that is actually being sent home. If you have a student who is a green student, they are getting this on Tuesday. If you have a student who is a gold student, they're going to get this on Thursday. And my plan is to print this on some cardstock, so it's a little bit heavier. I created this and then I showed it to my team and they're like, hey, wait, that works for math and science and language arts. So I'm like, okay, I'll switch it for all of us. So in my mind, in my mom brain, I would take this cardstock piece of paper and put it wherever my student is doing their daily work. Because really, there are 3 things that students need to do to make sure they are successful when they're learning from home. And to be honest, a lot of it is similar to what they do when they're at school. It's just there's more levels of independence because I'm not there, and lots of times adults at home aren't there to make sure they're completing these steps. So they have this little sheet of paper. It's about 1/3 a piece of cardstock, and the first thing they need to do is read the Schoology update. And I'll talk about those more in detail in the next slide. And please note that I say, make sure you complete the attendance activity, okay? That's only for at-home learners. And also I want to point out that this attendance activity is not their only assignment. It is not their only task. It is for them to kind of check in and say, yep, I'm here. But then obviously watching the video and completing the assignment is incredibly important too, and that's what's going to go into their grade book, and that's what's going to help them understand the materials, and that's what's going to help them move forward with their Minnesota studies. The second thing they should do is find today's folder in Schoology and watch the instruction video. Again, I'll kind of walk you through that. And then finally, complete the assignment for today. Sometimes that's turning something in. Sometimes that's completing notes and keeping them safe in their notability or in their folder. It really depends on the day. And this instruction video that I create will always give tons of information and walk students through exactly what they need to do. So the first thing on their to-do list is to read the Schoology update. This is an example of an update. I will hop over to my social studies page, and the students land on this materials page when they're in their iPad. And then right below, I obviously have a few more things as a teacher, but right below is the updates. I'm not going to click on the updates in this video because when I do, it has other students' names because they've completed the attendance activity. But once they click on that updates page, this is exactly what it said today. And it says, today we'll continue to look at Minnesota and some of its physical features like lakes and rivers. You will also practice mapping some of the important cities. This activity will help you when you create your Minnesota map next week. And then on the hybrid days, I have started writing in big, bold letters, capital letters, at home learners only. Please watch my entire video in today's folder for the lesson and instructions. Comment on the update, what your favorite movie. What is your favorite movie? There's a typo. What is your favorite movie? So what I would do at the end of the day or at the end of the hour is I would just make sure the kids had done that for attendance. But then, of course, I would also go and look, have they turned in this mapping practice? But I wouldn't necessarily grade that on Monday evening. So this is a much quicker way just to see who has attended, who do I need to reach out to and connect with, who should I check in with on Tuesday to see, why they didn't check in or why they didn't complete the attendance piece of the update. So that, as I said, is their first thing that they should do. And I will always create a video on hybrid days. And I do a video over a live Zoom because I feel like the Zoom, then kids are really restricted to when they're able to come in. We do ask that the students follow their schedule, but we know that's not always possible. As we learned the first few weeks, technology isn't always our friend. So if a student is not able to log in, I know that heightens people's anxieties and gets them really anxious and nervous and causes some issues at home at times. So I feel like a video kind of relieves some of that stress because it's always there. And the last reason I really like videos is because as you're watching a video, whether you're taking notes or getting instructions, you can always pause something or rewind something and rewatch something, or go use the restroom or let the dog out. Whereas if you're on the Zoom, a lot of sixth graders would be uncomfortable across the Zoom meeting to say, hey, Miss Lee, can you repeat that? Or hey, Miss Lee, hold on, I have to go somewhere real quick. So I feel for now, videos are my best option. So in that materials tab, in the materials tab, I've decided to organize my courses by week. So every week has its own folder. And then within each week, every day has its own folder as well. So each day, the student would simply need to click on the day's folder, like it said in our tips, and then watch this instructions video. All of my instructions are uploaded to YouTube, so if you have an internet connection, you should be able to view them. The one nice thing about YouTube that I found out last week is that I can get analytics and see exactly how long students are watching the video. And what I noticed is my entire average length of watch video was shorter and sometimes much shorter than the actual length of the video. So I think when students are having issues or when students aren't sure what to do, my first question is always, did you watch the entire video? So if your student comes to you and is confused or doesn't know what to do, that would be my first go-to is, hey, did you watch the entire video? Or hey, let's watch it again. I try and keep the videos between 5 and 15 minutes, depending on if it's a touch base and a reminder of an activity that we started the day before, or if it is a more of an instruction video. One day last week, I did have like a 24-minute video, but we were actually doing notes. So they had the option of doing that on a live Zoom, or they had the option of doing that through a video. But once they watched that 24-minute video, they had very little other things that they needed to do for social studies. Maybe finish up 1 or 2 questions and then submit it. And in a 55-minute class, 24 minutes isn't even, or is, about half of the class. Then the assignment is always listed. Sometimes this is a PDF. Sometimes this is, it's usually a PDF. Sometimes it's a website. And then finally, this is where they would submit the assignment. So we did the materials and course organization. The one other thing that I want to show you is the Clever app, which is the best place to help your students check assignments. They can definitely go through Schoology, but Clever is an organizational app that the district uses from elementary up and allows them to house many different apps in one location. So it makes logging in much easier. This is what the app looks like on the student device. We have done this in social studies multiple times, so they should be able to find it. But remember, you can always just search for it as well. And then they log in with their Google 2027 ID. And this is what the homepage looks like. And they would just click on Schoology. And what this does is it actually allows students to view the web version of Schoology, which is very similar to your family access. So in my opinion, there's a little bit more information there. And here you can go to two places. I've taught the kids to go to courses once you're signed in, because I've always focused on my course. If you as a family want to look at the grades in general, that would show you all of their course grades. That's obviously a great option too. So you would click on courses in this instance, and then you would find social studies, which is right here. These courses are in alphabetical order, and you click on social studies, and you would actually land on, oops, sorry. You would land on that updates page that I showed you guys earlier. And then over here on the left-hand side, you would click grades. And then finally, you would be able to see your students' grades. So now these little blue symbols means something is turned in. So if they have something that's blue, that means it's turned in. If it's the little dash, it means I haven't graded it yet. And then you'd see here, these have been graded. You'll notice this assignment here just has the dash and no blue label or no blue symbol. So that means the student hasn't turned it in yet. This is a really quick visual way to see if you've turned things in yet. It also has the due date right here. So oftentimes things are in my gradebook before they're technically due. But this one was due last Friday. So if this was your student, you could have them open it up and then you would say, oh, why isn't this due? You could find where My Minnesota is located, what day it was assigned, and then you would be able to have that conversation with your student and get them turning things in. The last thing that I want to show real quick, and I appreciate if you're still watching this video. I know it probably got kind of long, but there's lots of things that I wanted to share with you, is our Northern Lights textbook. We have, oops, that's not it, it's this one. We have the amazing opportunity that we have our textbook available through online access. So they are able to watch the video at any, or watch the, read the textbook at any point in time. It also is able to be read to them, which is great for all readers, all students. But at any point in time, you can see here, just trying to show you real quick, you can see here, and then this little button, it is allowed to be read to them. What I do want to point out is if they are ever unable to read the textbook, what most likely it is they have not signed in, or they logged out, or were no longer signed in. And here is the username and password here. So it's 47 student and then treaty 15 exclamation point. Notice it's a capital T. As I said, the kids have signed in once, the students have signed in once, but I know sometimes, technology happens, or for whatever reason you get logged out. So that's always a resource there too. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to share visually with you guys. I don't think so. The last thing I really want to say is please have your student reach out to me if they're ever struggling or if they ever have questions. If they're struggling or have questions, I would refer them to their to-do list, because I think this is an excellent first step. And sometimes even rereading that Schoology update will make them remember what they're supposed to do, or rewatching that video. One thing that I suggest parents do, or adults at home do, is at the, around the dinner table at night, or when you get through the door at night, have them quickly go and read all of their updates to you through all their courses. It's a quick reminder for them for what they've done. And also it is a very quick way for you to hear what they did and maybe say, oh, did you turn in that activity of the cities and the rivers and the lakes? Again, trying to figure out how to all kind of navigate this new way of learning. Please reach out if you have questions. I really look forward to this school year and learning and growing and helping your student be successful. Again, thank you for taking your time to watch this video. Have a great rest of your day.